According to several reports both in Germany and in Spain, it seems that Barcelona has agreed deals with Luka Jovic for him to become the new number 9 coming next season. In this video, we're going to take a look at that move, everything that implies, whether you should believe it or not, and most importantly, how would he be able to fit at Barcelona, because right now it just seems that there's absolutely no space for this guy. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están, boys? Here, welcome back to another video here on the channel. And today, like I already mentioned, we're gonna be taking a look at the possible newest signing for Barcelona, be it Luka Jovic from Benfica, Eintracht Frankfurt. And why do I say this? Well, because there's a lot of different things that needs to be taken into account about how this deal could actually be made. Let's remember that both in Germany and Portugal, there are no such things such as release clauses, so Barcelona will have to approach it in a very good, meaningful way with negotiations like we did against Frankie de Jong, and the tactics are actually the same. Apparently what they're doing now is trying to persuade the player to come to Barcelona and already kind of like get his, I'll call it, ethical signature, or his signature outside of paper, and just have agree with him so that later when he either returns from loan from Eintracht Frankfurt or stays there being bought by 12 million, because it's a possible clause which the German club has on the Serbian player, then he will decide to come to Barcelona still, and then we will see to which of the two clubs negotiate. In the terms of whether you should believe this story or not, I actually do think that is quite reliable. Not exactly in the sense that it comes from the most viable source, but it's just a story that really you wouldn't make up if you don't have any kind of backing to it, you know? Luka Jovic is a player which will tend to be associated with Barcelona because he's one of the only few out of 4 players, I believe, that in the world of football could replace Luis Suarez at Barcelona, because he has those traits, those key powerful shots. He can score headers, he can put his back to the defense, he can drift out wide, he can have passing. I believe that Luka Jovic alongside Kane, Firmino and Andrea Belotti probably are the players that could play at Barcelona. And I honestly also believe that Barcelona are looking into this guy, because both for the sense of getting him into the footballing squad, there's one very big reason that I believe he could possibly join in the team, and that is that he's not that old. You know, he's 21 years old, he was born in 97, so it means that probably Barcelona can persuade him to stay at the club as a secondary striker for at least 1 or 2 more seasons max. And why do I say that? Is because that if he comes to Barcelona, he will certainly have to take on a, I'll say, kind of like preliminary role. That is because Luis Suarez will not abandon his starting position as the main number 9 for Barcelona anytime soon, because still he's a great player. Even though this season may not be the best, it still is a wonderful season compared to what you see around the world, you know. And I feel like he still has 1 or 2 more years max at this top level, so probably Luka Jovic will have to be persuaded, or any sort of striker by that manner, to wait out, you know, to wait out. And somebody like Andrea Belotti, which is already what, 24, 25, would want most likely to play the minutes now. People like Firmino, Harry Kane, the same, and of course they're gonna be costing a lot of money. And Luka Jovic right now, for the price, which could go and extend from 40 million euros all the way up to 80 in my eyes, is a player which I believe at 21 years old he could take that role of being that secondary striker. He will learn the traits, how to play under this system, especially with amazing big players like Lionel Messi, like a Dembele, like a Frankie de Jong in the future. You know, he will learn how to play this style of football, and then when Luis Suarez cannot give anymore, then he'll slot right in and will be the wonderful striker we'll want to take on for the future at Barcelona. So I believe it does make a lot of sense, very similar to what we're seeing with Jean-Claire Todibo, a player which right now at 19 years old could possibly be the future of Barcelona center back, but not just anytime soon. He still needs time to develop and adjust. And someone will Luka Jovic, which is, although he's a little bit more made, you know, he's already a player that has been demonstrating his wonderful traits, be it at a very competitive league like a Bundesliga, and certainly in a team which right now is outscoring most of Europe. They're the top 3, I think, kind of like leading front 3 with most goals alongside Sebastian Haller and Ante Rebic, so they are putting some big numbers. Luka Jovic can be this wonderful player, but we have to treat him right as well. We have to remember this if we want to bring any sort of player. We cannot let this Serbian wonderful young kid stagnate at Barcelona, because then at the end of the day we're going to devalue him and we're not going to be making good business. And if there is something I want you to come out from this video believing, is that really this is not a done deal just yet. You know, you need to remember this, because this is very similar to what we saw with Frankie de Jong. We had a personal agreement done like at the start of last year, but anything can happen in football. You see how PSG almost got the guy, the same with Manchester City. So I still believe there's a very big saga in front of us, and most importantly because of that situation of him not being right now owned by Eintracht Frankfurt. Some reports says that the German club has already established that they want to get that 12 million option to buy him off Benfica, because of course if they want to resell him, the money will go directly to Eintracht Frankfurt, and probably the profit will be a lot, because 12 million euros is a really good bargain for a player of his quality at this stage, especially of how the market goes right now. So it depends on whether Barcelona wants to start negotiating with Benfica, because they could also do that. You know, Benfica could also be interested in getting all the money right out, and they obviously have also an option to kind of like pull the loan back. So if they have that ability to, well, have the player come back to Benfica, pay a fee of, I don't know what, 20 million euros, and then sell to Barcelona for 50, then they will make a 30 million profit. That could be something that also Barcelona needs to look into, because right now it's up in the air who are we gonna negotiate with. And that is when we're going to see people like PSG, people like Dortmund, people like Bayern Munich, teams being really interested. So Barcelona, if they really want this player, which I think is very, very unique, very similar to the situation of De Jong, where there's only one actual player right now in the world that, or not as many, I would say, that could fit into what we want of our club. I think that they really need to start working on that. You know, they need to start working on the negotiations from this right moment. And if they got already a personal deal agreed, then perfect. But now go and talk to the clubs, to Benfica, to Frankfurt, how you can get this deal done. But well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be absolutely everything for right now. I'm going to be following up this video with certainly my match previews of the Champions League clashes coming up soon. Those are going to be Manchester United versus Paris Saint-Germain, Roma versus Porto, Tottenham Hotspur versus Borussia Dortmund, and Ajax versus Real Madrid. I certainly believe that it's important to not only analyze what Barcelona does in this competition, but most importantly also what the opposition does. So if you're excited for that, be sure to drop us a like, leave us a subscribe, turn the bell notification icon, and follow us on all other social media to keep up to date. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao.